Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this woven chains bracelet. This was designed by Keith is Looming Mad on Instagram. I've done a lot of tutorials for him in the past. I will link his name right here so you can check out his Instagram page to see all of his beautiful renditions and any designs he may come up with in the future. So for today's video, I'm not going to be doing a full-length wraparound bracelet. I will give you the instructions to do that if you wish, but we're going to be needing to make a fishtail extension. Now, I'm not going to show you how to do the fishtail. I'm sure if you're capable of making this bracelet, you'll know how to make a fishtail, but I do recommend using the auto loom if you have it. It's so much faster, but if not, just use 2 pins on the loom. So the breakdown is going to just be for the piece with an extension, but if you want a full-length wraparound bracelet breakdown, that will be in the box below. So for today, you will need 204 bands total. You'll need 32 of this blue, 11 more of the blue that sits in the middle, 22 of the gold, 22 of the evergreen, 44 of this clear, 26 of this, it's teal, but I'm going to use olive green and it's kind of hidden in the middle, and 24 of this opal that sits on the sides as well. You will need approximately 23 extension bands and 1 C-clip. So for now, let's get that stuff together and I'm going to show you guys the loom setup. To get started, you will need to have 5 bars wide. The setup is in a staggered position. So you see how it's kind of going in like a zigzag? That's what you need to do to yours. Anytime we have anything over 4 bars wide, I really do recommend these purple bases just to keep everything tight so your loom doesn't fold in on itself. You can get these on rainbowloom.com or Amazon. But make sure you have that staggered setup. I'm only using this 1 set of 5. If you don't want to make an extension, you'll need to have 2 sets of 5 connected together. But I'm just making a small piece today. And just so you guys know, I will be doing this color combo today, this exact one. I like how it looks having 2 colors in the middle instead of just the one. But that's up to you. So the very first thing we're going to choose is going to be the blue that sits on the side right here. We're going to start by grabbing one for closing it. We're just going to sit that on the center pin loose. And then from that middle pin, we're going to come backwards to the left and the right. And then we'll go down to the outer pins. And now we're just going to go straight up the sides. I'm going to just go ahead and go up the right side. But we are going to lay 11 of these. And then I'll show you how to bring it in at the end. If you want to make a full length bracelet, you will need to lay 24 straight ones. And then you would bring it in at the end. So I've laid my 11. You can see I have 1 empty pin there. We're going to go ahead and bring it in towards the left. And we're going to go backwards like this. So we're not going to come down here to the middle like making a V. We want to bring it inwards like so. So you're going to go ahead and do that same exact thing on the left side, making sure that you meet it up to that middle last one, and I will show you what my loom looks like when I am done. So I'll be ahead of you, but just hit that pause button. This is what it should look like. Both sides look identical. So we're going to come back to the beginning now, and we're going to stick with that same color, or at least I am. You don't see it too much. It does poke through a little bit, but it's going to be the blue that sits in the middle. And we're just going to lay a single chain now going down the center. And we will do this until we reach the end where our bands are. Like so. So if you haven't done so already, take a second and push all of those down, and we're going to choose our next color. So this is where we alternate the 2 colors in the middle. Like I mentioned a minute ago, you can use all 1 color. You can use more than 2 colors. I'm just going to do the 2. I'm going to choose gold for the very first bands that I lay, and we're going to be filling in the center. So starting on this middle pin here, we're going to go diagonal to the left and the right, And now we're going to keep that color to the side, but we're going to switch to the second one. So my olive green, or not olive green, evergreen. From where we ended with the gold, we're going to now bring it inwards. And then we'll bring it out. So we're basically making the X with this evergreen right now. And now we need to do that again with the same color. So we're going to lay another X. So I'll go diagonal in from both sides and out. So you can see how it makes an X and an X with my green. So now I'm going to go back to my first color with my gold. And we're going to do the same thing, laying 2 sets of X's with this color now. So I lay left, right, and left, right. And repeat. Now this part is easy to mess up if you're just like watching a show or rushing. I had all my loom filled out and realized I constantly was messing up laying just one X when I was making the full length one. So just take your time, make sure you have 2 sets of each color besides the first one, and you'll be good to go. So I'm going to go back to my evergreen and just keep laying 2 sets of X's. When we get down to the end, we will end the same way that we did start it. So with just 2 bands of one color is how it will also end. That's if you're using the same number of colors as me. Just want to throw that out there. So I'm at the very end. It's time to switch to gold. And we just end with the 2 like that. You can double check, make sure you didn't mess your colors up. I am good to go. So I'm going to push that down and then we're going to choose our next layer. The next one is going to be the clear on the sides. Makes that like a zigzag look. So I'm going to start on the right side here on this corner pin. And we'll just go diagonally in. And then from there we'll go out. And then back in. And we're just going to keep going in and out all the way down, making that zigzag pattern. Oh, we're just going to leave that. And just a little side note, in case you weren't aware, once you get the main border laid, regardless of how many looms you're laying, everything, all of my rules and instructions are the same, regardless if you're using 1 setup or 2. That's why I only tell you how far down the loom to go for both versions, because everything else falls into place once you have the main border laid. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. I'm sure many of you have figured that out by now, but just in case you're wondering, it just works out as long as the border is the correct number of bands. Alright, so you will end with it going outwards like that. You're going to do the exact same thing on the left side, starting on the corner, bringing it diagonally in. And now you're just going to zigzag all the way down. So go ahead and get your left side done, and I'll meet you back here. So this is what it will look like once you're caught up with me. So I did take a second and push those down. I would recommend you do the same. And the color we choose now, it kind of blends into the bracelet. I used a teal on this one. It's a chain that sits right in there where my thumbnail is pointing. Basically, it sits right here, but inside. So I did use teal, but since it kind of blended, I'm going to use olive green right now. But I tend to do it to where you don't really see the color. You can kind of see it a little bit here. It's a purple. This part's super simple. We're just going to lay a single chain going down the second bars in from the sides. So I'm just going to start on this one. And we're just going to lay this going all the way straight down until we reach the end where our border bands are. Like that. And now you need to do the same thing on the opposite side. Second bar in, lay that single chain all the way down to the end, and I'll meet you back here. So after you've completed both of those single chains, we do have to lay one more band of that color. So where our chain ended, we're just going to lay another one right on top of the border bands connecting to the middle. Like that. Do the same on the right side. Like that. So it's kind of like closing that little section off. I kept forgetting to do that part in every single one that I've made. So definitely do that. And now we do have one more color that we need to lay, which is going to be another single chain, but on the outer rows. That's going to be where this opal color is here. It's just a part of the border. So on both outer rows, we just need to lay a single chain going straight down like this. We will not bring it in at the end. We're just laying it straight until we reach the last pin. Like that. Go ahead and do that same thing on this left side. So just want to show you what it will look like once that's complete. We are going to turn the loom around facing us. I did push my side bands down a little bit, but we do have to add a couple of cap bands. So on the side pins where our single chain just ended, using that same opal color, we need to wrap a triple cap band on the last pin that our bands are on. So just wrap that around 3 times on both of them. Now Keith is Looming Mad does like to do a triple cap band on the very center pin as well, the pin that we start looming out of. I don't like using a triple cap band, so I'm going to wrap it around 2 times. And that's just a personal preference. So if you like that much tighter close, go ahead and triple cap band that. I just find it makes it difficult trying to attach the C-clip, and I like a double cap. So that part's up to you, but that is all of the bands that we have to lay, and we are ready to start the looping. So we're going to go ahead and grab our hook. First thing we're going to do is go into that center cap band that we just laid, and we're going to start by looping the olive green bands. So you're going to grab the top one and bring it back to itself. Go back in and do the same for the other side. And from there, we're just going to loop up the olive green like a single chain going all the way up. It doesn't matter which side you do first, but we're just going to go in, grab that very top band, and loop it up. We will do this all the way up the loom. Just like that. You need to do that same exact thing for the opposite row, so this one right here. So go ahead and loop that single chain up, and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Alrighty, so now that both of those single chains are looped out, we need to do the same thing to the outer rows. So where we put those triple cap bands is where we're going to start looping out of. So this one right here on the corner, make sure you're getting in front of the entire cap band. Grab the top band in there and just loop it forward. And then you're just going to keep grabbing the top band and looping it forward, just like a single chain like we did with the olive green. So we need to do this for both sides. So go ahead and do that same thing to the left side until you reach the very top, and I'll show you what we're going to do next. So I know I'm going to be a bit ahead of you, but before I tell you what we're going to do next, I just wanted to show you what mine looks like, just so nobody is confused. So we're just going to come back to the beginning, and we're going to loop the clear bands now. So it's the bands that are laid in a zigzag. I'm going to start on the right, and we're going to go into the cap band here on the corner. You're going to grab the clear. It's the next one in line once you reach in. You're just going to bring it back to itself, which is to the left. Then you're going to reach into that pin. You need to push back the top 2 clear so you can get the clear that is facing this way. And you're going to bring that to itself, this time going to the outside. We're going to loop it just like we laid it in a zigzag motion. So you'll bring it in, reach in and bring it out. Just gonna go in and out. You just gotta watch on the middle row because there's a little bit going on in there. So just make sure you're grabbing the right one. The last one reaches that top corner like that. So you can see my zigzag. You're going to do the same thing on the left side, starting with this corner one right here. Grabbing the first clear and bringing it inwards. And now just zigzag all the way up like we did over here. And then I'll show you what we're going to do next. Just wanted to give you a quick little preview of what my ending looks like. Now we can come back to the beginning. And we're going to start looping the center X's where my evergreen and my gold are. So we're going to come on the second row and the second pin up, and we're going to start with my gold. You can see my gold is going downwards like this. All of these bands will be getting looped into the center. So on this pin here, you're going to push back the top two bands and grab the third, which is my gold that's facing diagonally downwards, and you're going to loop it down. Do the same on the right side. Can be a little bit squishy trying to get in there. After you loop them both down, we need to loop the bottom blue middle up to the center. So push back the top golds that you just laid there and also move that cap band. Grab the blue that is straight. Just don't want to be grabbing the wrong one. So you might want to kind of look like I am right here. Make sure you're grabbing the correct one and looping it straight. There's a lot of bands going on in there, so just be careful. Loop that straight, and now we're going to do the same process with these green bands. So on the left side, I'm going to grab the bottom left evergreen, loop that to the middle, and then come on the right and loop that one. And now we have to loop the top two. So I'll grab the top one and loop that down, and the right one and loop that down. We'll be looping 4 of each section, and then we'll go into the middle and grab the very bottom band on that pin, which is my blue, and you have to really work it off of the pin because it's so tight in there. And when I stretch it straight, I do it slowly because I don't want to break that band because there is a lot of tension in there. You're just going to loop it straight like that. Now we're going to loop these 4 green the same way. So I do the bottom legs, as I call them. Loop them to the middle. And do the top legs of the X. The top ones are the trickier ones because you have to watch these clear bands. You need to make sure you're getting in front of both of them in order to grab it. That can be the most frustrating part, making sure you're actually getting in front of those. After you have all 4 of them looped to the middle, we're going to reach in. Make sure you're getting in front of all of them. There's a lot of bands there. Grab the very bottom blue, work it off of the pin, and carefully stretch it up. I know people are going to have bands break there because I had bands break there. So unfortunately, we're going to be kind of taking a gamble there. If that band snaps, you're going to have to pull a new one through. And it's not very fun. Unfortunately, it's a tight design and there's really nothing we can do but cross our fingers and hope they don't break. So we're just going to keep looping them all to the center. Remember, we're doing 4 at a time. Once we have all 4 in the shape of kind of like a star, then we loop up the middle blue. So keep alternating looping that middle like that. And then when I get to the very last one, I'll come back on and do that with you guys. So just hit that pause button until you're done your middle. Once you're at the top, I just want to show you I've looped my last 4 evergreen and my last blue one going straight. You can see I have 2 gold left. Remember, we started and ended with just 2 of that one color. So just don't forget to go back in and loop those last 2 to the center like that. And that will finish off that section. So all we have left to do is the sides. We're going to come back to the beginning. And we're going to start in the very center pin. And we're going to grab the very bottom band, which is, or actually it's the second to last band. Bring it to the right. Go back in, and now it's the last band. Bring that to the left. We're going to go in again, grab the bottom band, bring that to the left. This is just the border. Do the same on the right side. And now pick a side that you want to do first. I'm going to do the left so you can see it a little better. So the first thing we're going to do is go into this corner pin, grab the very bottom blue, and loop it straight. Like that. Now we need to flip some bands over. We're going to be flipping the second and third band. It is not going to be the same color. It's going to be one clear and one of my opal bands. So if you just push your hook right in the middle right here, see where that space is? We need to grab the second and third band down. So it's my clear and my opal, and you're going to flip them both over like that. You'll go back into the pin, grab the bottom blue, loop it up, and we need to flip the second and third band over again. And I'm including the blue that we just laid there, that's band 1. So the second band is my clear that's kind of smushed, and then the opal is right under that. So unfortunately, there's no other way to grab them. You just got to have patience, push your hook in, make sure you're grabbing just the second and the third, flip them over, and then you go back in and loop the border. And we will alternate this all the way up. This step is what gives it that kind of spirally look. So flip, loop the border, and repeat. It's definitely easier to kind of look at the loom from the side so you can make sure you're grabbing the right bands to flip. So I'm at the top of my loom. I'm going to loop my very last blue forward. When you get to this corner pin, we are not going to flip anything here. Just leave that there, and then we will go into the corner and we'll continue just looping the border. So following the blue in, grab the next blue and loop that in and down to the very center like that. You now need to come back to the right side and do that same exact process. So I'll just get you started. You're going to go into the corner and grab your bottom border, loop it up. Come to the side, and you're going to loop the second and third band up. Just a reminder, it will be one clear and one opal for me. And keep alternating between doing the border looping up and flipping those 2 bands. So I'm going to go ahead and get mine done real quick, and I'll meet you back here. Don't forget, when you get to that top corner pin, we're not flipping anything over. We're just going to keep looping the border from there. Once you bring it into the center, push it down so you don't lose anything, and locate that loose band that we laid there earlier. We're going to reach down, bring both ends together, and attach our C-clip. You do want to use your hook to release all of the outer rows, and even maybe the very top row, and then you can carefully release it section by section off of the loom. When you do take it off of the loom, you're going to want to give it a stretch, and I do like to kind of bend it downwards just because it's kind of all over the place. But what you do want to do is locate your blue cap band down here, at least I like to, and pull on it because sometimes it gets really tucked up in there. But there's not anything you have to do with this cutie except make an extension. So remember, if you're doing an extension, you're going to attach these 2 bands onto either 2 pins on the loom or onto your auto loom, and you're going to make a fishtail extension. So if you don't know how to do it, I will link a video either here or in the description box, and you'll go to the end of that video and you'll see how I do the fishtail extension. But that is it, you guys. That is how you create the woven chains bracelet, created by Keith is Looming Mad on Instagram. Don't forget to tag him and myself. We would both love to see it. I really know he would. We appreciate you watching today, and I will see you guys very soon in my next tutorial. Thank you guys so much. Bye!